Hey, welcome to the Small Talk Podcast. I'm Mike Smalligan. I'm here with Alex. We are at Ken's Fruit Market on Plainfield. They have 2 locations in Grand Rapids. They're a staple in the Grand Rapids community, and I'm really excited to check out their store and what they have going on today.
We focus heavy on fresh produce, really.
Okay.
When we started, that was basically all we did. That's kind of me, my dad, like our backgrounds is in produce, and what we know best, what we handle still to the day, that's what we do. So it's really heavy for us. I mean, we feel like it's something that we can kind of do, that we can differentiate ourselves from other people, especially the big box and chain stores. And we rely heavily on local growers during the spring and summer and fall. We just try to, have best quality, good prices, all that type of stuff, that, anything that we can do there.
So are most of your vegetables like local, or where do you get them from?
Well, it depends on the season. So, during the main growing seasons in Michigan, we are getting everything local, as close to town as we can get. All of our apple and any stone fruit growers, like pears and peaches and everything like that, they're all out north of town on the ridge. We get corn from a guy, his name is Andy T. He's the best corn grower in the world, I think, and he's over in St. John, so he's probably the furthest one out that we deal with. But other than that, everything's right here, from the squash to, tomatoes, obviously apples, we said. All the berries that we do in the summer, it's all right here. So we try to do that as good as we can. We come from back in the day, when there just wasn't as much shipped up in stuff, throughout the year or whatever.
I remember those days where there'd be times where you couldn't get certain fruits or vegetables, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of gone to the way of everything being year-round. And it's still not everything is like that, but it's pretty close. And so, there were a lot of things where really, if you wanted it, the Michigan local stuff was all you can get, or it was the only thing that was halfway decent. So, peaches and good tomato and stuff like that are just, really back in the day, that's all you can do is just get local. So stores like us, people like us and my dad or whatever, we would pride ourselves on being able to offer that, and so that's kind of where they learned and found their niche and everything, and we just still keep doing it. And to us, it's the quality, the price, the freshness, the everything. It's why would you not go to the local guy and support them?
Right? I think that's true for a lot of businesses.
Yep.
I love supporting local as far as beer and meat, and I think it's the farm to table. The quicker you can get there, the fresher, the better the food is.
Yeah.
So I'm noticing all these vegetables that say Ken, fruits and vegetables that say Ken's. That's awesome.
One thing that we've done over the years is we carry the core produce, and then I'll get into the story more later probably, but we do the meat and everything, and then we just always try to add on more and more whatever we can in that area. For us, really, where we can grow is just dry grocery stuff, bulk products. Pretty much everything over here you've seen was an addition at some point that we were just hey, we can sell this. We could do this. We could do this way or whatever. So that's kind of been the core of our expansion over the years, is just trying to figure out what else we can put in the store that people want.
Yeah.
And so through the recent years, this is one of the newer things we've tried to do, is just do whatever we can that we can put our name on, really.
Yeah.
And there's lots of these jarred good products that really are great quality stuff, fair prices. This is stuff that you can't find anywhere else necessarily.
Okay.
Especially the big chain stores or anything like that. This is by far the #1 seller out of any of this stuff.
Pickled baby beets.
Pickled baby beets. And I think they're disgusting. My 2-year-old daughter loves them.
I
don't
like beets.
understand them.
I don't know if I like pickled beets, but I might.
Here, try a jar. That's developed into like, we got dressings down there. We've got, more pickled stuff, ketchups. There's cider down here. We have our own line of spices over there. It's like, a lot of this stuff has just kind of been throughout the years adding on anything that we can get produced.
So how do you determine like what you bring into your store now? Like, are you are you looking for stuff, or are people coming to you with stuff?
It's a little bit of both. I would say now I would honestly say it's about 50-50.
Sure.
Really. Like, we get cold called sales all the time, and it's good. Yeah, it's great to do that because we found some of our best vendors like that. We also search out, different things, and from finding things out on the internet to going to other stores.
Okay.
Not necessarily around the area because we don't want to really copy anybody, but there's a lot of good stores in the Detroit area, Chicago area, or, out of the state that are similar to ours that we can kind of, look and see what they're doing. And if it seems like it'll work for us, then we can do that.
Okay.
But a lot of our smaller vendors, a lot of our local producers that we sell their stuff, it's a lot of them coming into us and bringing their stuff and, hey, is this anything that interests you, in selling? So
sure.
Like I said, it's about 50-50. We do full beer and wine, no liquor.
Okay. Is there plans for that, or not really?
No, not really. I mean, if anything, we have plans. We would like to do like a bar type thing. Like, that's probably more of our avenue to do that. The liquor business is really it's tough. It's not
something
really,
you're looking to get into.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays maybe with like the more of the craft, like bourbon and all that stuff taking off pretty good, it's probably a decent thing to get into. But for us, we're trying to find things that we can do differently than anybody else. You know what I mean? And anything that we can do different than Meijer or Walmart or whatever, that's what we want to do. That's what's going to make us better, because it's going to give somebody else a different, or a customer a different, experience than they can get in over there.
Yeah, experience is super important.
That's,
and just
that's
having
huge.
Something different
in our business. Like, that's the thing with like COVID really kind of put the emphasis on this a little bit, where like, everybody's offering delivery now. Everybody's offering pickup, whatever, drive up pickup thing, and stores like us, like, people ask if we're doing it all the time, and it's like, we want to do something different. Like, there's still tons of people who want to come out and shop and walk through a store or go to a store where there's things going on.
You get to discover new things when you go into the grocery store. Tell me about your role here. Like, what is your title, and what do you do for the Ken's Fruit Market?
Okay, so my title would technically be like general manager.
Okay.
My dad is Ken.
Okay.
My middle name is Ken, so close enough. But
you ever think about going by Ken?
No, not at all.
All right.
No. So it's my dad. My dad and me are kind of extensions of one another at this point.
Sure.
We kind of both take over different roles in operations and overseeing things. And my main day-to-day job that I do a lot of is I do all the produce buying. So I'm going to the market and, picking stuff out, purchasing. I'm doing all of our pricing, anything that we have on special or ads and like that. I'm doing all that. And I'm also dealing with all the local growers that we have during the summer and fall months, just buying products. Sometimes I'm driving our truck out to pick it up, stuff like that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's my main core thing. My mom is involved heavily too. She does all of our books.
Okay.
She, books, a lot of the HR type stuff. She handles all that and does an amazing job at it. I don't know how she does what she does, but no. One thing, like each one of our stores kind of has, at this point, we kind of have a different like ownership structure and stuff like that goes into it. So me and my dad and my mom are the common denominator between all three of our stores. This store here, we have a gentleman named Bob who runs our meat department, and he also owns part of the business.
That's
so
awesome.
He's a meat guy. He is the best meat guy that I've ever met, and he knows everything and anything about there. It's one thing my dad and I do not really do. So he handles all that, everything involved in that, and he's got, obviously a crew of people behind him helping out too. But
my father-in-law was a butcher, and there's so much to learn about meat and all the different cuts and how to do it. And it's a more than you think.
Skilled trade 100%. Like, that's one thing that really has propelled our business throughout the years is the meat department. I mean, we don't like to really admit it because we're produce guys, but it's the number one thing we got.
Yeah,
hands down. That people
that carries, right? Like word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Talk about I got the best steaks over here. And
yeah. I mean, we've done we have killer brats. I mean, that's just huge for us. People
you have
love our
like
brats.
the kind where they like mix things in.
Yeah.
Like,
we have.
Like
there's like countless. I mean, we got a sign of there's like over 20 varieties of them or something like that.
Okay.
So we do a ton of brats. We do some other specialties type stuff now that really is stuff that is created by our guys here that you can't go to a chain store and get. This is stuff that we make. It's stuff that is proprietary to us, and it's really good. It keeps people coming back too. So we like that. It's been huge for us to have the meat department. We do have a great crew of people operating in our stores, and just kind of, whether it's a couple managers per each store and department managers and, people in the office. We have just core group of great people that help us operate every day. But that's, kind of.
When was Ken's founded?
Okay, so my dad started his first store in 1981. And at that time, it was a store in Ionia. We are all my family's from the Ionia area.
Okay.
So Ken's, as you know it, and this is kind of a long story, but as you know it, started in 2010.
Okay.
We opened in Alger Heights in 2010 in the fall. And so then shortly after that, we came up here and started the store in 2012. And then we had a store on 28th Street in Wyoming for a couple of years in between there. And then in 2018, we actually bought back my dad's old store in Ionia.
Okay.
And changed the name to Ken's. And that's where the Ken's Farm Market comes in. And we still have that today and operate that. So
okay.
We're at 3 locations right now. And it's been really good for us. Yeah.
Got your eye on others or not quite yet?
One thing about our business with what we do now, it's very hard. I'll say it's really hard to do multiple locations.
Sure.
And I mean, I know to some people it probably is a little easier. There's obviously chains of stores all over the place that have hundreds of locations and they do it. But for us, what we've really thought about in the last few years is just trying to take like what we do at each location and grow each location. We've got, like, especially right here, we just expanded another 8,000 square foot back into our building here last spring. We just added this greenhouse outside. We still probably have some room to grow around here, especially with just like, organization and, rearranging and adding stuff into our building right now. But, right now our sights are set on just kind of improving our locations that we have right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think, you're going to get a different level of personalization or people when it's on a smaller scale. And it's obvious that you have good people and a reputation, and that doesn't always transfer well to multiple locations. So
no, that's for sure. I mean, this is like we talked about with the butcher. It's a skilled trade.
Sure.
Running one of our stores is a skilled trade. I think it's not something that anybody can go to college for. It's not something that you learn in like a couple weeks of training. It takes a long time. It takes a long time to learn not only just skills of the trade, but how we want things done and how we operate. And so it's not like you got people every day that can, you know, lead a team and run a store for you or whatever. But, you know, somehow over the years we've built up a few people that are able to do it right now. It's been really good. But, yeah, with that, it's just it's tricky to look towards the future and easily picture yourself starting more. And it's like right now we're so entrenched in the communities that we're in right now that, you know, if you go to a new spot, if you go to a new town, you got to start all over almost. I mean, we have a fairly good name in the area, I think, but even if we were to go to a place like Hudsonville, you know,
Sure.
we're brand new out there, you know.
Yeah.
So
how are some ways you support the community around here?
So I look at this a lot of different ways. I mean, as a grocery store, I mean, I think you kind of have to have this default role as like a anchor in your community, right? You know, we pride ourselves on being a spot where everybody knows everybody. People come in, they feel welcome, and they feel like they can get what they want and just, you know, have an enjoyable time shopping. And, you know, having a grocery store in your community that, especially one that has a neighborhood type feel, really just does a lot to kind of anchor that community and support, you know. And we find that in Alger Heights a lot where we're at. That's a really tight-knit community. We've been there for over 10 years now. We love the area. We get a tremendous amount of support from the area. So do the other businesses that are there too. And so we feel like we, you know, are part of that neighborhood. You know, besides that, we try to support any local function that we get asked to do, like school functions or church things like that. A lot of people come to us for donations or something like that. So we do try to support anything like that we can do. We'd like to think that we're great friends with anybody in our neighborhoods that comes in here and shops. And, you know, I know there's been multiple times throughout the year that we can support people, you know, one-on-one or whatever. Not only that, but just with employment and everything like that too. We employ people in our neighborhoods, and it's a good spot where, you know, things like kids can come work. Like, you know, we hire usually 18 or 16, just depending on the location. So, you know, it's a good spot for kids to get their first job and get some working experience, and that's been really good for the areas we serve too. So
how was it growing up as Ken's son? Like, when did you get involved with the grocery store?
Oh my gosh, you know. So growing up with a dad who had a grocery store was a ton of fun because, I mean, he encouraged me to work as young and as much as I possibly could. So my earliest memories are probably me at 7 years old coming in and stacking potatoes in the summer on Monday, Wednesday, Friday when we get trucks in, and coming in on the weekends and help bagging groceries or help, you know, doing produce or just cleaning and sweeping floors and just working for probably $1 an hour. And it was great, you know. And you know, one thing that my dad always has done really well and still continues to do is just kind of like emphasize the fun of working and, you know, the pride that you should have for working. And, you know, this is not always the prettiest job in the world. It's not always the easiest thing in the world. But at the end of the day, you know, you should enjoy it and you should take pride in it. And with that, you know, you can have something to kind of show for. So even at the youngest age, it was always work. It was always fun. It was always hard work, but, you know, we enjoyed it a lot. You know?
Okay. I mean, I have rental properties, and I bring my kids to do cleanup, and it's finding ways to bring your kids into it and let them know what you do. And I think it's super important, really, any type of business. I brought my kids along with me on showings for real estate, and it's just, you know, exposing them to what you do every day so they can appreciate it more. And gain some experience kind of along the way.
So that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, it was.
I can imagine growing up in a grocery store would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just a grocery store. Inside, it was like, okay, you know, let's go in and work for 4 hours and then ride my bike out back for another couple hours until my dad goes and takes me home for lunch or whatever, you know.
Sure.
It's like hanging out with all the employees that, you know, that all knew you and stuff like that. I mean, that was a lot of fun too. And, you know, yeah, I mean, probably didn't even get a lot of work done, you know, but it's just like all about the experience.
Experience,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
So how has your role changed? I mean, so starting here as a kid, and then when did you start actually like working and evolved into management?
Well, you know, during high school and stuff, I never really saw myself doing this.
Okay.
What
do you see yourself doing?
Oh, I'm a musician by trade.
Okay.
And I went to school for audio production.
Okay.
And it kind of got to a point where, you know, some things were going on in my life and my family's life and with the stores and everything like that. And I just kind of got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I don't think this is what I want to do with my life. I don't really, you know, it's not that I wasn't like making any progress or anything. I was still young. I was 21 at the time when I decided to kind of come back.
Sure.
But I just kind of felt like it was the right move. And like at that point, I just realized that like family meant a little bit more to me. And, you know, having keeping my family's, you know, business and their legacy going really meant a lot. And I mean, to me, it was just a solid career choice too. Like, you know, rock solid business to be in as long as you don't screw it up. I mean, it's going to be there. So making a decision at 21 when I was done with school to not pursue anything and come back here, that's when I kind of was like, okay, I got to start really learning the business, got to start taking on more roles. And from there, it just kind of grew and started doing more and more and more, you know.
Well, if you would have done something else like the musician or audio engineering, like would you have appreciated what you had as much as you do now?
Just because I grew up in it and I always knew like what this was about, I think I probably would have still appreciated like it, if that makes any sense. But
well, I imagine starting at 7, right? Like seeing everything that your dad goes through, and I'm sure some of that came home with him. And
a lot of that.
And owning a business has its own set of challenges.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of people
my mom's always been involved too. So I mean, if anybody else understands and has parents that work together or own a business together, you know, it's not always easy, but it's a lot of fun.
So do you have kids yet?
I got 2. Yeah. Yep.
Have they started working here yet?
Nope. One is 2.5, and the other one is 9 months now.
Oh,
so
They're
a little young. They're a little young. They've came around and seen what it's all about, though. But yeah, they're a little too young still. But
I grew up in Grand Rapids, actually down Plainfield, and one of my like earliest memories of a grocery store, we would go to D'Amico's, which was on Plainfield by Ann Street, and they knew my dad by name.
Yeah.
Like we would go in there and they'd be like, "How's it going today, Gary?" And I remember one time the guy, what was it? I think his name was Frank. We went in there, my dad forgot his wallet, and the guy was like, "Oh, come back later. You're good for it, Gary."
Yeah.
Like, and
that's so cool. I mean,
like, just that experience was really cool.
Yeah, and you're not gonna get that anywhere else nowadays. You know, it's like
it's tough.
I like to say that, you know, we try to have that same feel as good as you can for 2023, and you know, it's like our other store in Alger Heights, as you probably went to, is small. It's a lot smaller. This is 28,000 square foot now. That's 12.
Your candy aisle is almost 28,000 square feet.
Exactly. So, you know, that one there, like, we just have, like, everything's tighter, everything's smaller. It has that old school market vibe like you're talking about.
Yep.
It's neighborhood feel. Everybody knows everybody, you know, and it's just a cool feeling being like that. I really like it. Obviously, like, for the business side of things, we like to be a little bit bigger so we can grow and continue to sell more and all that stuff. But, you know, it's like that always just kind of holds a soft spot in my heart, having a small store like that, you know, to just have that feel, you know. So
more personal, you get to know more people and the community better. And
you know, one of the areas that we've really been trying to grow and excel at the most lately is our garden center.
Okay.
So If you come out here in the spring, we'll have full show of plants out there, annuals, perennials, hanging baskets, combo planters, pre-made combo planters, nursery stock. We're doing a lot with nursery stock nowadays, like hydrangeas and fruit trees and all that type of stuff. So we've really found that to be a great deal for us. It's like, not only is it a lot of fun for us, like I love doing it, it's just kind of like a cool like thing to get the spring like started off, and everybody loves to come out and buy the flowers. And we found that it's a good thing that like nobody really kind of can compete with us on, especially the big box chain stores. There's obviously a lot of great nursery stores and a lot of great flower shops around that do well with it, but everybody's independent, and none of the chains really do a good job with it. So it's been good for us.
Do you just sell it here? Do you actually, like, my wife has been to some classes and where they like help you. No, they put together planter boxes. So they like bring different plants and put them all together. And
everything that we do is pretty much just sold. Like, we don't really do any of that ourselves.
Okay.
We have really great growers around the area that do all that for us. Everything, like all of that stuff, is grown within a really tight radius of here. So Hudsonville is huge for it. There's tons of growers over there, greenhouses that grow specifically annuals, perennials, and nursery stock. I mean, there's a couple over in the Grand Haven area, over along the lakeshore. We tend to stick with the smaller guys.
Okay.
I think the mentality behind that is we'd rather be a great customer to a smaller guy than a smaller customer to a big guy. You know? So
have an impact.
Yeah, for sure. And we can kind of work with them a little bit better. I mean, so that area of our business has been great. That's one of the other roles that I kind of take care of too. All of us kind of are involved in that. So it's been a lot of fun trying to grow that side of our business, and I love it because you're stuck inside all winter. It's not really the best time of year for our business during the winter. And then as soon as April hits, it's like everybody's ready to go. Yeah, it's exciting. It's warm out again. Everybody's coming out of their houses and ready to buy flowers. So it's a lot of fun to do that. So last year we just put up our new greenhouse out here, and that's been great for us. And it's just helped our plant business a lot. So
do you do like Christmas trees, that kind of stuff?
So we're filming this in December right now, so we got Christmas trees out there. We're actually like getting pretty cleaned up on them, so we don't have that many left, but we'll sell good chunk of Christmas trees throughout the season, and we do pumpkins in the fall for Halloween, and we'll kind of keep the seasons going. So it's pretty good. We do, like right now we're doing a lot of gift baskets and fruit baskets and stuff for the holiday season. So so that's a good deal for us too. Again, it's like this business started kind of just as a really seasonal thing, like during the summer. And then as you grow, it's like, okay, how do you keep it going all year round as much as possible? And now you're at the point where there's really no lull time. Maybe January, February is a little bit of a downtime where there's nothing going on. But other than that, you're going right from springtime with flowers to the heavy produce season in the summer, to pumpkins, to Christmas trees, to Christmas, to, right back at it again. So it keeps it exciting, keeps it exciting. Sometimes I envy the stores that close and, during the winter, but it's like, we like to keep it going and stay all year round and stay open. So
you mentioned stores that close. I'm sure you guys close here. What are some of the things that you do when you're not here working?
I still play music a lot. Now I'm hanging out with my wife and kids a lot, but I like to play music. Yeah, I like to play music.
What type of music? What's the name of your band?
I'm not in a band right now.
Okay.
No, but I do like I like country music. I like rock music. I like anything like that. So I do a lot of that. I play bass, drums, and guitar. Other than that, I mean, we love boating. My family, we kind of grew up boating a little bit. I don't get to do that as much anymore nowadays, but we'll get back there. But now it's just introducing my kids to every little thing now that I possibly can. So that takes up a lot of my time. It's just all right, let's go here, get a day off and let's go to the zoo, or, let's go check this out. Let's go to the beach, or, it's a lot of that. So that's obviously really fun, as you know. It means getting rid of some of the hobbies you might have, but it's okay.
Well, that's becoming a dad, right?
Yep.
Totally get that.
Yeah. So, I mean, other than that, we kind of just, we work a lot. This is definitely a business that doesn't have a ton of downtime. We're early in the morning. We're working till a reasonable time, usually 5 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever. But, there's not a ton of downtime. We're open 7 days a week. So, it's not like, it's not too typical, but as you know, you're a realtor, it's a full-time deal. Always something to do, So, you never know when you're going to get a call at Sunday afternoon, something's going on. So, you got to be ready for it. But
what are some emergencies that happen in a grocery store?
Oh, man. Well, like the biggest one that kind of comes up on you sometimes is equipment going down.
Okay.
So, we have a lot of coolers and freezers around that run our stuff and keep our product cold. So if one of those goes down, you got to either get it fixed very quick or take care of that product and save it or whatever. So we, nowadays we have high-tech monitors on everything that, helps us out with it, but you still got to scramble a little bit if something happens. So,
yeah.
Other than that, power going off is a big one, kind of on the same lines. There's, just anything. It's always something different, it's always something new. But
so you guys had a fire.
Yeah. So,
and how do you recover from that, or what happened there?
We had a fire here in the fall of 2016.
Yeah.
And it pretty much, what happened is we have some far away blurry video of somebody coming up and lighting some straw bales on fire that we had outside that we were selling. So still trying to find out who that is, but it basically lit the whole outside on fire. Smoke came billowing in through the building and basically ruined all the product and everything in here, and it was a total loss in here. Not that much fire damage, obviously, but smoke just covered everything. So we had to basically, at that point, we just gutted everything and started from scratch. And it took us a long time to get going, as you know. I mean, any project takes a while nowadays, but that took us a while. But we came back really strong. I mean,
you got bigger when you came back too?
We did, yeah. We were able to kind of rearrange the building and the setup to give us a little bit more room, so that was nice. And we were able to kind of fine tune what we did and what worked and what didn't. So we were able to kind of come back pretty good. And then, the area and the community just came out in droves for us. It was awesome. I mean, they really expressed that they missed us and we missed them. And when we came and opened back up, it seems like it's never stopped since then. It's been very busy for us here since then.
That's good.
Yeah. I hate to say the blessing in disguise type thing. Nobody ever wants to say that, but in hindsight, now that it's over 5 years over, it's been.
Well, I think it could have turned into something negative, but I mean, with your attitude and your community outreach, it turned into a positive thing.
Nobody was hurt. Nothing really was damaged that bad. So with all that being said, in the end, it was an okay thing to happen, I guess.
Yeah.
But not that we would ever want to go through it again.
No, totally.
It turned out okay. So.
Wow, I didn't know your candy aisle had 2 sides.
Yeah, so
I might have a problem.
We like candy. We
4 sides.
It's you got the healthy stuff, kind of, and then you got the treats. Some of it stuff there's M&Ms in there. There's gummy bears. There's different stuff that you can find at a normal store, and then there's other stuff that's more specialty. I mean, my favorite is the milk chocolate gummy bears right here. These are the best. It sounds weird, but the flavor of the chocolate and the fruit gummy bear is amazing. So
to check those out.
That's underrated for sure. We don't really sell a ton of them, but they are, I think if more people tried them, they'd love them.
I think that's, the power of advertising, right?
Yeah.
You tell somebody about it and then they come in and they want to try it out for themselves. So,
which I think kind of leans into what we were talking about earlier. We can touch on it again, but it's like, advertising for us, we as a grocery store, we've kind of always had to like put out a weekly ad and advertise some prices and do some discounts just to kind of, compete, and you do it to kind of get people in the door and stuff. But we've never really been big on other advertising and stuff. And I think it's just kind of, we try to do word of mouth as much as we can.
Sure.
It's like, it's slower, but it's better because, as long as you have a loyal customer base, they're going to tell other people, and they're going to, then they're going to check it out and shop. And that whole process takes a while, but it's better in the end.
Yeah.
I think that for us, our money is better spent in improving our store, supporting our employees and our customers and community, and just kind of like, making those things our priorities instead of going out and plastering a bunch of billboards and TV ads around to try to drum up business,
So you mentioned your butcher Bob is part owner. Is that a normal thing? Like, do you promote people from like within to ownership or management roles?
So yeah, we have actually a gentleman who is part owner of our Alger Heights location now. His name is John. John has been with us since day one. John, he's a family friend of ours that I've known since the day I was born, probably. And he started with my dad when he was very young, and then he started at our store in Alger Heights when we opened in 2010, and he's been with us ever since. And he just got the opportunity last year to buy into the business, and
that's awesome.
Kind of run and operate it himself too, and it's been really good for him. Basically every single one of our core like manager employees are, from within.
Okay.
People that have been working here for a couple of years that have worked their way up, and we love to have people that kind of come in and learn things our way and learn how our business is, and then if they're interested and if they like it and if it fits them, then we have opportunity for them, and it's great. So it makes some really good people that I don't just consider employees, I consider friends.
Sure.
And that's what that
makes working more enjoyable, right?
Well,
to have people that you trust, that you like.
It's really something that we don't talk about much with this business, but it's like, this is not just about produce and groceries. It's about the people. The people that are in this business are some of the best around. Like, some of my family's long-time friends, from customers to employees to vendors to other store owners to other people in the industry around. There's some of the best. It's a very, honest and loyal business. It's a very, it's just kind of full of a lot of good, hardworking people that, you want to surround yourself with. So, that part of it, really, we don't really talk about that probably too much, but it's really true, so we really like that. We've been able to kind of surround ourselves with some really good people, from vendors to employees and everything like that, and it helps everything. So
it's awesome. It definitely will make work more enjoyable if you like the people you work with.
Yeah, that's for sure. You got to. It's like I said, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do this. So you got to be around some good people, and you got to like doing it. You know? So yeah. You want to head outside then? All right. But yeah, this is where we sell Christmas trees, and we'll sell plants. This thing will be full in the spring. Tons of hanging baskets, tons of bedding plants, tons of perennials, tons of nursery stock and trees and stuff. And we really just kind of, everybody asks us if we do anything in here during the winter or whatever, and we don't. It's really just a core season of April, May, June, when everybody's coming out and buying stuff to plant for the year. But for that time, it serves us well, and it does good. So we were really happy we were able to do this last year, and kind of got the support of the center here and the township and everything to allow us to do it. It's been great.
Well, I appreciate you having us out to your store today, and
thanks for having me.
Yeah, really great to get to know you a little bit, Alex, and the impact Ken's has on the community. So thanks for sharing that with us today.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
For those watching at home, thanks for tuning in and learning more about Ken's Fruit Market. And I hope you support local businesses like Ken's. And if you have any questions or would like to be a guest on our podcast, please reach out.